I'm Jade and this is my secret file. May 31st, 2021. That day my boyfriend June and I just celebrated our first anniversary. June and I were happy in our first year. In fact, we live in the same house. I can't say the relationship is perfect, but we are still happy because the two of us fell in love when June and I had just moved in and we decided to move out of LA to get a job. More money can be earned and saved. The course of our life in LA was okay, but sometimes it was inevitable that we had a misunderstanding. But at the end of it all, we were able to fix it, talk about it, think about it, and we both learned from the mistakes we made. That's the way it is. It's just a part of the life of every relationship to have small fights, jealousy, and disagreements. Later, I seemed to notice from June that he was getting bored with our life in LA. He convinced me to go back to our hometown. He said that we will live and work there. I don't want to come because for me, my situation here is already good. My work is fine. It's a shame if I let it go just like that. But still I go with June back home to our hometown. It turns out that it's really different when the heart makes decisions. Even if your brain is right, you can't do anything. Actually, I will admit that when we were still in LA, our relationship was very complicated. We fought every day. The truth is, I just want him to go home, but no matter how stubborn I am, still I follow him because he promised me that when we go back to our hometown, he will never hurt me again and we will never have a serious fight again. I trusted him because I love him, and another thing is that I can't bear to be apart. I can't bear to be far from him, so we leave LA and go home. Fast forward. When we got back to the hometown, I noticed something about myself. I can't explain it properly. But you know that it's like I feel an obsession with June. Like I don't want him to be separated from me, as if I get paranoid when he will go outside with his friends. I just don't want him to leave me because when he's not by my side I feel like I'm getting anxiety. Suddenly I feel like I want always to be with him, and besides, I always seem to have doubts about his behavior. It's like I have trust issues, but I can't explain it. But it's really hard when you feel an obsession with your partner because even though he's leaving for work, I still have doubts. Even though I'm entertaining myself, I still can't get rid of the doubt about him. I wasn't really like this in the beginning. Even when we were in LA, I wasn't this confused with June. Maybe it's because when we returned home he hardly had any time with me. These trust issues and anxiety of mine, it only took root when we were rarely together when we returned home. Will he blame me for being like this with him? Aren't we women? But I don't blame everyone, but most of us are really soft-hearted and overthinkers too. When he will go outside he just leaves me without even asking me if I want to come along. Sometimes I even beg him to take me with him, but when I insist he gets angry and then our conversation just ends up in a fight. Sometimes he leaves without even saying goodbye. He didn't even mention where he will go and what time he will go home. Nothing. So can he blame me for why I'm like this? I suddenly started overthinking as if he was ashamed of me, and then I feel like when he talks to his friends, I think about their topic as if it's the contents of my brain. Maybe he said that he is irritated with me, or he doesn't like me anymore, or he doesn't love me anymore. Or maybe his friends are talking about his girl. My thoughts hurt me. When I try to approach him or his friends when they are drinking, he will turn away and leave, leaving his friends behind. To be honest, my brain was messed up. Am I overdoing it by obsessing over him? I just want him to give some time for me, but what happened when I went home? He was always gone. He doesn't have time for me anymore. Isn't that reason enough for me to doubt him? It makes me wonder if he still loves me, because if he still loved me, I wouldn't have reached this point that I'm so confused every day. If he still loves me and cares about me a little, I will be okay. But I couldn't feel that, so maybe because I was getting hurt again and again, I thought of giving June an ultimatum. I told him that he only has 1 week to prove that he still loves me. He will remove the fear from my heart. If it's true that he still loves me, he will make me feel that I still have a place in his heart, that he still really loves me. I hope that we will get along, but sometimes things really happen, something we don't want to expect to happen. It just happens on purpose and we didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, and his answers to me when we talked that night. June has left again. He will go somewhere like he used to. When he will go outside, he will leave, disappear, and I don't know when he will come back or if he will come back again. And I'm praying again, I hope he doesn't leave me. I'm afraid he's looking for someone else, or maybe there's someone else he just doesn't want to tell me. Maybe he's already with someone else, but I don't have any evidence. After he left, I just locked myself in the room and cried until I fell asleep. It's like I'm the one clinging to our relationship. Is he that numb? Is he sick of me? I have many questions. I give him what he wants. Isn't it enough? Or he wants to taste someone else. In the middle of the night, June came home and I felt him lying on the bed. But he didn't touch me. He didn't even move. He didn't even look at me. He just covered himself, and it was like he was the only one in the bed. How could he sleep when he knows that we are not okay? How could he stomach it, not talk to me despite the ultimatum I gave him? I, on the other hand, started to cry, wondering why he was like that when he came home. The next day I received news from my mother about my father. He said that Dad is sick and if I can go home there and take care of Dad. I told June that mom is sending me home because dad is sick. He didn't move and just bowed, but I continued what I said. I said, when I left, know that I will not come back to you. I will never go back to the life we have because it only caused me pain. It's better to go home. June just looked at me. He didn't stop me. He didn't say a single word. He doesn't care about me anymore. I also wasted a year on my love for him. In the end, it was all a waste. I called mom again and said, Mom, I'll be home tomorrow. I'll take care of dad. June's eyes looked bad at me. He only said one sentence: if you leave me, don't ever come back. And that's just one sentence. I replied to him, if you're like that, then let's break up. I packed my clothes and brought my other things. I left the house where June and I live. It hurts to think that we are going to be separated, but I feel strong that I will be okay when I get home. I still can't stop thinking about our separation, but I told myself that he will take care of his life. If he wants to find someone else, let him do it. For a while I will also heal the pain he left in my heart, but that's it. Maybe it's better that I leave him than for the rest of my life to endure the miserable way he treats me. And I know it's hard at the beginning, but I can move on even though it's too heavy and I'm still having second thoughts, but I'll do the right thing. Early the next morning I left and went home. Right now I'm here with my mom and taking care of my dad. I'm still carrying a heavy load in my mind, but I know I can handle it. June is just a chapter in my life and not that's the end. Thanks for watching, and that's all.